active of late, Havard, and he does need to be quite busy, you'd feel, at this stage if he's going to engineer another world title opportunity for himself. Havard in the white trunks then against Efren Gonzalez, 23-year-old Mexican who we saw recently in this country give a pretty decent workout to Richie Wenton, the British super bantamweight champion, and he had Wenton on the floor in that fight, but then just seemed to run out of ambition. But he looked as if he could look after himself all right, didn't he, Glenn?
Yes, certainly. You can tell he sparred with a lot of big names. It shows very experienced, and he knew his way around the ring, and he looked pretty good in the Wenton fight. But Havard is a very good stylist, good southpaw. He has been a little bit too inactive. He needs to keep fighting regularly, but he's a very good, solid professional, good fighter.
Havard from the Swansea Valley, lovely technician and craftsman. Had the misfortune when he did get a world title opportunity to have to go in wet with John Molina, an outstanding world champion. And that was just too big a question for Havard to answer that night. But twice a British champion, and he's one of many who's in the queue to try to get a shot at Prince Nassim Hamed. Could be a long wait. Lots of other people are vying for that opportunity as well. Southpaw jab has been flicked out from Havard. The Mexican making a busy and lively start, though.
Yes, he is. It's a nice start. He's very loose, and he's letting his punches flow, Gonzalez. But Havard's just got to use the jab. He's got a very good, solid jab, and he's just got to try and get that into distance.
Had only one fight in almost 18 months. There could be a bit of ring rust for him. Good left hand there. Just lost balance momentarily, Gonzalez, as that landed. Not noted as a big puncher, though, Floyd Havard. But he's got a lot of moves.
Havard showing a good defense. He's got his hands up nice and tight, and he's catching some of the punches look a little flashy from Gonzalez, but Havard, he's seeing them all, he's catching them all on the gloves.
"31 years of age now, the Welshman. Gave up the British super featherweight title to drop down to featherweight again. Cautionary word from Denzel Lewis for the two fighters.
There's both just getting a little rough with their heads there.
Well, there's Floyd Havard. Let's have a look at what the computer told us about the first round. 50 punches thrown by Havard, 24 landed. 57 by Gonzalez, but only 17 landed. Havard the more accurate. You'd think that Floyd Havard must get some kind of title opportunity quite soon. Colin McMillan, of course, holds the British title. There's John Joe Owen, Commonwealth champion, and Billy Hardy, European title holder. So there's a few options out there for Havard. Good left hand from him right at the start of the round. Havard in the white trunks. First 31's getting on a bit, isn't it, for a featherweight, really, Glenn?
Yes, for a smaller man, I'm sure he would like to get a big fight pretty soon. He needs to hurry it up, but he's been pretty inactive, so really, they wouldn't have took its toll. He hasn't been in the hard fights for a while, so he'll be fresh enough.
But Havard beaten only twice in 11 years as a pro, once by Molina, the other by John Doherty of Bradford in a British Championship fight. And that night he was in agony from a badly damaged right hand and was forced to retire. Good right hand, sharp one too. Typical piece of work that by Havard, covering up and then countering.
Yes, he's just starting to get his boxing together a little bit now. He's catching the punches from Gonzalez very well. Gonzalez looking busy, but not a great deal landing, and the better, crisper punches are coming from Havard.
Havard's defence is very, very tight. Dispiriting in a way for Gonzalez to throw out a lot of leather like that, but just never be able to get through that guard. Again, the southpaw's left hand into the face of Gonzalez, whose own defence isn't nearly so tight. Gonzalez, who spars with, among others, Marco Antonio Barrera, the brilliant world super bantamweight champion, who's one of the best around at the moment, pound for pound, and Daniel Zaragoza, the WBC super bantamweight champion. They're both in the same gym, and we thought when we saw him before he'd kind of adopted the attitude almost of a sparring partner in the ring, didn't we, in the later rounds?
Yes, he was with Wenton. He was boxing well, but never just quite doing enough, and I think that is a sparring partner's mentality. But really, it's not advisable to have heavy sparring sessions with the like of Barrera and Zaragoza. You wouldn't think that was too good for his health.
No, you must take a fair bit of punishment in the ring every day with the likes of those technicians hanging around. Barrera hits very hard. Seven wins, 4 defeats so far for Gonzalez, and he's being outmaneuvered at the moment by Havard.
Henry Akinwande in action, defending his WBO world heavyweight title against the big Russian Alexander Zalkin. One of 3 world heavyweight title fights, live from Las Vegas, our special pay-per-view event on Sky Box Office on Judgment Night. Here we've had a couple of rounds. Floyd Havard, the Welshman, against Efren Gonzalez at featherweight. Let's rejoin Glenn and Ian.
Yes, if you're planning to go out on Saturday, November the 9th, cancel it now. It's going to be a great boxing night, that, on Sky. Third round of this one, Floyd Havard in the white trunks. Efren Gonzalez, the 23-year-old Mexican. Win some, lose some kind of fighter in the blue. Havard will be keen to just get back with a win here, and then plot his championship campaigns from that point.
But he's looked pretty sharp, Havard. The jab's been good, and every now and again he just slots home that straight left hand, and that's a good punch. And once or twice it's just looked as if that shook Gonzalez up a little bit.
Had a few problems with injuries down the years. Beginning to set himself a bit more for the shots now. There's a bit more devil and venom about his work in this third round, Floyd Havard. Low blow from the Mexican. Havard just ignoring it. Unlike Riddick Bowe that night.
He's trying a few things, Gonzalez. He's just trying to use the lead as an uppercut and then come out on the right hand. Once or twice he's getting through the guard. So Gonzalez obviously trying to mix things up and do things himself. But Havard's looking sharp, just moving up the gears a little bit in this round.
Just about everything, it seems to me, that Gonzalez is throwing is hitting either the arms or gloves of Havard. Either that or he's being made to miss, as he did just there. We've all admired Floyd Havard, of course, Glenn, over the years, but he never really has been able to just make that jump from being one of the top British and European fighters at this weight to being a really world-renowned force, has he?
That's right. I think he was very unlucky when he got his crack at the world title to get Juan Molina. He fought an excellent champion who was really on form that night, and I think that was a little bit of hard lines. He's certainly, Havard has always been a quality fighter.
Again, a hint of low blow about the right hands. Long way low, really, from Gonzalez. Not picked up by the referee that time. He was on the blind side, to be fair to him. And then he did have a quick word with him, so my apologies to Denzel Lewis. He waited his time and just had a quiet word.
And again, that long left hand was a good one. Rocked the head back of Gonzalez. He's getting into gear and he's landing with some good punches, Havard.
So Havard's winning everything at the moment. He's outboxing Gonzalez in the main. Back to the Whitchurch Leisure Centre, which is not really Bristol's answer to Las Vegas or anything like that, but there's been a good little atmosphere in here tonight. Big win for Dean Francis, picking up the WBO Intercontinental Championship with a 4th round victory tonight. And Glenn Catley winning a thriller, if you weren't with us earlier on. We had a real scare. Live in the ring at the moment, Floyd Havard, 2-time British champion of old in the white trunks, and the Mexican Efren Gonzalez. Round 4 of what was announced as a 6-rounder, though we were told earlier on it would be 8, but it is 6 rounds, I can confirm.
It must be frustrating for Gonzalez, who's trying to throw lots of punches, just to see them hit the gloves and be picked off by Havard. He's using a very good defense, very good technical boxer, Floyd Havard.
Then scorecard, all 3 rounds to Floyd Havard. I've got it the same. Good right hand there. Just seemed to come from an unusual angle and brought Gonzalez off balance a bit. Gonzalez just giving complaint to the referee about the heads coming close together. With Havard, you do wonder, don't you, what would have happened for him if he really did have a big punch to go with all his skills as well. But how many fighters have we said that about?
That's right, technically he's very good. He lacks the real devastating punch, but he's a good solid puncher, and you know, he certainly gets a fighter's respect when he lands. And he's doing a good job on Gonzalez at the minute. I think he just seems to be sickening Gonzalez. Just a nice steady work rate, picking off the attacks from Gonzalez and coming back with good jabs and good left hand. You see Gonzalez complain again. That's the 2nd time in this round. I think Havard's just starting to get to him a little bit.
I think he's getting frustrated as well, his inability to break through Havard's defense. He's coming forward and caught with a big left-hand counter there, Gonzalez. It's not edge of the seat excitement as we had earlier with Glenn Catley by any stretch of the imagination, but it's very, very neat boxing from Havard, from the school of fighters who believe in hitting and not getting hit.
It's a good technical display, and we saw the problems that Gonzalez gave Richie Wenton when he fought him.
Four rounds gone of this 6-rounder. There's the face of Floyd Havard. Well, it's serious business, but he's doing the job pretty impressively, really, isn't he?
He's doing it very well. Hardly making doing a foot wrong. Everything is very good indeed. His jab's excellent. You know, he come back with a left hand. You see good work rate, good punches, and good punches landed.
I think what those statistics told you was about a much better defense from Havard and much better punch picking by him. Havard's the one in white, if you still need the identification. Havard, as we expected when we saw this match on paper, just a couple of leagues too good, it looks, for Efren Gonzalez in terms of technical skills. Apart from maybe the really elite top men of the division, that's just a slip by Havard. Floyd Havard is a world-class operator who maybe, after his long and distinguished service, is the kind who deserves to pick up one of the versions of the world title.
Certainly, I think his career stands up for itself, and he certainly deserves a shot at a world championship.
Who knows? He might still get another crack.
But I think really he needs to be a little bit busier. He can't be as inactive as long as he has been. He needs to keep having fights, let the public see him, and he'll get his crack.
That left hand was a useful-looking punch. Come from a long way back. When Gonzalez was in with Richie Wenton, he was in with a super bantamweight. Here he is with a big featherweight, a man who has operated at super feather. So that's another factor. He's throwing out a fair bit of leather all the time, Gonzalez. I got another lowish one from him there, but he's not really making any impact at all in the fight. He's not troubling Havard one bit, is he?
No, he just can't get through the defenses of Havard. And when he does get through, he doesn't look strong enough. And Havard just sickening. These are hurtful blows from Havard, just keeping a steady pressure and good technical work. And the left hand's getting through more and more.
Yeah, his legs are just beginning to go a wee bit stiff. And he's wobbling a wee bit as he tries to move around the ring. These left hands are starting to get the job done. And there's the possibility of the stoppage for Havard. Some heavy punishment to the head being absorbed by Efren Gonzalez in this round. Well, I can't have given Gonzalez a single round so far. What about you, Glenn?
No, I haven't given him a round. Havard boxed well. He's just keeping on top. It's a good performance, and it just looks as if Havard could be near and getting a stoppage here. That would be very good. That would be an impressive display from him if he can do that. But he's just steadily wearing Gonzalez down. And the left hands, you see a good one. They're just taking their toll, and the legs just starting to look a little stiff from time to time. And I think he was starting to get hurt at the end of that round.
Well, Havard, is he on the verge of a stoppage when he's only got 3 minutes to effect that now? He's back with Frank Warren in the Frank Warren camp again. 3 minutes, many headshots, 3 times as many headshots landed by Havard as against Gonzalez. But as I was saying, he's back in the Frank Warren camp again now. And, well, with those kind of connections, it's just possible that some kind of title opportunity will be engineered for him, if he keeps winning, of course. Last round. Havard a street ahead on points. Gonzalez needs a knockout. Blood coming from his nose. Crowd bursting into song again. There's a bit of blood around. Just trying to see where that is coming from. I think it's from the nose of Gonzalez.
Yes, he shifted a bit of punishment in the last couple of rounds, Gonzalez, in his face. Just starting to swell up, and as you said, a bit of blood from the nose. He took some good left hands.
Yes, we said, or I said anyway, that Havard wasn't noted as a heavy hitter, but he's not exactly a light hitter either.
No, he gets very hurtful punches. They're very stiff, solid punches. And they certainly, an opponent respects it when Havard hits him. It's solid work. He's just not a devastating puncher.
He's landed enough of them here. The cumulative effect has had Gonzalez in trouble in the last couple of rounds. Well, this is a much more impressive job that Floyd Havard is doing with Efren Gonzalez than Richie Wenton did, isn't it?
It's a much better performance. He's strong. I think it's just getting a little bit rough in there. Havard hasn't complained, but often Gonzalez has hit low, and he's often dipped his head when he's come in. There's been a few head clashes Havard's had to take.
Looks to be just a little bit of a nick around the side of the left eye, just under it for Havard, unless that is blood that has come off the face of Gonzalez and smeared onto him. Just dabbing away at something there, Havard. Yeah, there is a bit of damage there, just by the cheekbone.
Yes, I think that could well have been caused by the heads. Just troubling Havard with that damage a little bit.
Typically solid professional job being done again here by Floyd Havard. And he's won that surely a long way. Gonzalez raises his hands. He should be so lucky. Floyd Havard must have won every round there.
Yes, a good technical performance, good boxing. I think he'd be a little bit upset. He's got a bit of damage. There could be there's a swelling. I think there's a cut above the left eye. He'll be upset to get that. It looked to be a clash of heads. Gonzalez constantly came in with his head low, and unfortunate for Havard to get that.
Well, that must have happened in the last round.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of 6 rounds of boxing, the referee's scorecard reads: Efren Gonzalez, 57.5 points. Floyd Havard, 60 points. The winner, Floyd Havard. And I'm sure you'd like to show your appreciation. It's a very good loser indeed, please, Efren Gonzalez.
You always feel with Floyd Havard that somewhere in there is a world-class night